Welcome back to part 4 of how a Christian becomes a Christian psychic medium. So it just hit me that I was going to do this part of the series, and in part 3, we end with the fact that my son passed away. And I happened to be at the hospital this morning having more tests done, and this is where it gets heavy. So, at this very spot, this is where my daughter passed away, and this is where my son passed away as well. And, of course, my faith, I technically buried 2 children in 1 year. So, I did what a lot of people would do and completely lost my mind. So, of course, I still love God. I still love Jesus, and I was mainly just begging him and pleading. And of course, that is all in my book and many other things. And as we know, of course, I'm in a parking lot, sorry. As we know, I already had a really, really rough life. So, I did turn to drugs. My ex-husband, because I did end up leaving him, finally. And that was rough. It was an abusive situation. And, I'm just going to move forward with this story. So, I knew I had abilities. I knew that I could do certain things. You just weren't supposed to talk about it. And I was able to talk about it here and there with my mom. And, if you've watched the other parts of the series, you know. So, the night that I had a car full of people, it was my son's first birthday, which is also the day that he passed away, first year. And we are driving down a very dark road, and there's this sharp curve. Impossible if you go over this curve, like, it's deep. So I go around this curve, and I hear somebody scream, "Go home!" And I flipped out, turned around, and I ended up going down, as I'm, "What are you talking about?" And everybody's, "Listen, we didn't say nothing." And I end up going off the curve, off the side, and somehow, of course, I know God is the only reason. At the time, I'm like, how did this happen? But I ended up coming back up the hill and ending up on the road. So, of course, my brain is all over the place. I'm like, what just happened? So I'm like, okay, I'm tripping. I'm on drugs. I've been up too long. That's what this is. And yeah, so I keep going down the road. We're headed to a specific place, and I had a very specific place and time limit to be. And all of a sudden, I heard, "Lucy, go home." I mean, so loud it freaking rang my head. And I turned around. I went off on all my friends, and "Lucy, we didn't say that to you. Why would we say that?" So I keep driving. This is a very dark, long road, and I know now. I knew then. There was this spiritual heaviness that come over me. We get to where we're going, and by the time I got there, I thought, God's got to be telling me something. It doesn't matter if I'm high or not. Maybe I should go home, Everybody gets out the car, and I happen to be right down the road from my home. So I said, I'll be right back. I left something or made up an excuse or whatever. And someone wanted to jump back in the car with me, but I knew I had to be alone. So I drive as fast as I can to my house. I go to my room. I happened to moved in with my mom and dad at the time. Well, at 10 o'clock every night, my parents were in bed. It was a contract, okay? And this is well after that. This is, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. I go to my room. I'm thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, you've been up too long. It's been up too long. So I'm like, I'm not missing the fun, because that's who I was at the time. So I run downstairs, go out the door, and all of a sudden, my mother's car pulls up into the garage. Now, this is 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, maybe even later. To this day, I don't know where she went. I don't know why she was gone. I have no idea, but she pulled up, and she pulled up too close to the door, where when I opened the door, I couldn't get around the car to get to my car. And she gets out the car, and she walks in, and she looks me dead in the eyes, and she says, "Lucy, what have you done?" And I collapsed, hit the floor. Next thing I remember, my mama was flying to the hospital, and this hospital. And next thing I know, everything in the hospital is moving. And I am seeing things that are not there, which I now know were. I'm seeing people. I'm seeing baby hands. I'm hearing screams of children that really wasn't there. It was chaos. So, long story short, my kidneys were shutting down. And they rushed me to the next town. When I woke up, well, make sure you stay tuned for the next part, because this next part of the series, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. I had a near-death experience, and I did not see anything pretty.